Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's Chris, and welcome back to ManicManiac Predicts, the 2015 season of the NFL. This is week 3, and so much has already happened. It's really freaking insane, but I'm glad that we are here in week 3 because we got some really interesting matchups, a lot of divisional matchups. Not a crap ton, but a good amount that, really are gonna really start to mix things up, at least in the divisions, and we're gonna see who is dominant this early 3 weeks in. But I know for sure that we found out some very surprising things this past week. Let's find out how I did with my predictions. I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to go with the Chiefs here. The Panthers will end up winning this one at home. I gotta give it to the 49ers. I'm honestly gonna do a surprise one. I'm gonna say the Buccaneers are gonna win this one. Overall, right now, the better team is the Lions. I'm going to go with them. I got to go with the Cardinals here. Just a better team all around. And I'm going to go with the Buffalo Bills. But I have to give the edge to San Diego. But I'm going to give it to the Titans. I'm going to give this one to the Falcons. I'm going to give this one to the Rams because this is an easy one to me. The Dolphins win. I got to give it to the Ravens here. And I'm going to go with the Eagles. I'm going to go with the Green Bay Packers winning that whole thing. No, I'm going to say the Colts. So after this past week, I am 14 and 18. This week I was 5 and 11. Ugh, gross. Just gross. I wanted to do a lot better than that. And this week was just not the week for it. So now a losing record, 14 and 18 with my predictions. So I'm not very reliable as I thought, but I think I'm going to rebound this time. I think I have the ability to rebound. So let's see what happens. Let's jump right into this with the, well, I keep on doing that. This is the second week in a row where I show the Sunday matchups. I had to get to Thursday. We can't skip that day. So we got the Redskins at the Giants. This NFC East is a mess. It is a mess. The Giants, they're strong through 3 quarters and then they just lose it in the last quarter for whatever reason. They just choke big time. Then you got the Redskins, where they've been playing pretty well, but they still have a backup-y quarterback at the center. And then you got the Eagles and the Cowboys, which I'll get into. But the Redskins, even though, like I said, they have a backup-y quarterback, he's been playing pretty well. Kirk Cousins has been playing pretty well. Their offensive line is one of the main reasons for that. A line that was struggling in the preseason, and we all know the preseason doesn't really matter, but still, struggling in the preseason, we didn't really think anything of the Redskins, and now they are kicking some ass. Their defensive line is doing a lot of work too, just their defense in general, their linebackers as well. Yeah, a lot to like about this Redskins team. I'm actually going to make a bold prediction and say that they're probably going to win the division unless the Cowboys rebound from this past Sundays and all the injuries that have been happening. So I'm going to give this one to the Redskins, and it's just because I don't have a lot of faith in the Giants right now. I think they're going to need a little bit of time to grow and get into the season, but by the time they do that, it might be too late. So, right now I'm going to say that the Redskins are going to win. Of course, as a Giants fan, I hope the Giants win, but we'll have to see what happens. So, on to the one that I skipped before, the Falcons at the Cowboys as our first 1 o'clock matchup on Sunday. So this is the only 2-0 matchup that we have. Both teams are 2-0. We got the Falcons and the Cowboys. And this one's pretty obvious to me, especially what has happened to the Cowboys team. They just traded for Matt Castle to help with Tony Romo and the fact that he's injured, which is wild to me. They might have Matt Castle at the starting front, which would be really good because as a Bills fan, I've been watching this quarterback battle for a while. Matt Castle I thought was going to win the job at first, but then you saw Tyrod Taylor and he was insane, awesome, so we chose him. But Matt Castle is still such a good quarterback, so I'm hoping that he gets a starting job for the Cowboys, at least while Tony Romo is gone. I think that he will. But for this matchup, it's going to be Brandon Weeden Sure, he went 7 for 7 in the last game, but do you think that he'll really still have that going into the Falcons? The Falcons' defense has gotten so much better. Their offense has been amazing. And just Julio Jones has been just a monster on the field. And though they were down against the Giants for a while, they came back out, they rallied, and they kicked ass. So I gotta give this one to the Falcons. They've just been showing so much more potential. And I completely thought that the Falcons would get last in the division. I was just thinking the Falcons would just not do good this year, and they were kicking ass. Dan Quinn really changed that mentality in Atlanta. Just a really awesome team, and I think they're going to beat the Cowboys. So it'll be a 3-0 start for the Atlanta Falcons. Alright, on to the Colts against the Titans. Man, the Colts are getting beat up. First the Bills defense, then the Jets defense. Completely dominating Andrew Luck. And the Colts defense hasn't been doing too well, except for some good plays by Vontae Davis and Henry Anderson. And then their offensive line is shit. They've been playing really poorly. But I think this is the week that the Colts get a break, because as much as I do like what the Titans have right now with Marcus Mariota, Mario is going to need time to grow, and that win against the Buccaneers, it's a good win. I don't know how far it's going to go for them right now. I don't think they're going to win for at least this week. I don't think that the Titans are going to do it, so I'm going to give this one to the Colts. Boom, right there. The Colts are just, I think this is going to be their rebound. They'll do a little bit better. They're facing 3 divisional opponents in a row, and as of right now, I think they're going to win all 3, but we'll see how they perform in the next 2 weeks. And again, the Titans, I think that they're still going to have a better record than they did last year, but they're going to still need some time to grow. So I don't think they're strong enough right now to take down the Colts, even though the Colts have showed a lot of weaknesses in the past few weeks. On to the Raiders against the Browns. So these teams last week were pretty freaking good to watch. I mean, you looked at them in week 1 and they were not good at all. And then they went against, I think the major surprise was the Raiders beating the Ravens. And then I don't know if Terrell Suggs was part of the reason why the Raiders had such a good win against the Ravens or not, but or the lack of Terrell Suggs. But I think the Raiders, they kicked ass. They really did, and they really surprised me. And then you look over at the Browns, and you almost when you look at that team, and you forget how this team was 7-4 at one point. This team was actually really doing so well. And then of course they lost their last 5 games. But you forget how strong this team was on the defensive side of the ball, and on some great offensive weapons as well. And with Johnny Manziel at center, if Johnny Manziel plays, I guarantee you a Browns win. Hold on. 12 hours ago, you are insane. What are you talking about the Browns winning this game? And what are you talking about with Johnny Manziel starting at center? Don't you know that the Browns organization is pretty fucking dumb, and they decided way ahead of time, before Josh McCown got back from injury, that Josh McCown was going to be the starter. And they just announced today, the day that this video is going up, that Josh McCown is going to be the starter against the Raiders. What are you talking about? There is no way that the Browns are going to win, even with their defense and with their offensive weapons, aka Travis Benjamin. There's no way in hell that the Raiders are going to lose to the Browns. They got Derek Carr, Amari Cooper. They got a great defense. There is no way. Latavius Murray at running back. There's so many good things to say about the Raiders. The fact that you chose the Browns makes me gag. The Raiders are going to be the winner, no doubt about it. Alright, we got the Bengals against the Ravens. I was thinking about picking the Ravens for this one. And the reason why is because I do still have hope that this team is strong enough to beat their fellow opponents. I believe that they were going to win the AFC North. I think that they still can, even without Terrell Suggs. They still got a pretty good defense. Their offense, their offense is still pretty good too. Everything about the team is still good. They really just struggled against the Raiders, though. And then they had two really good matchups against the Broncos and the Raiders that they were tight. It was a tightly contested game, but they ended up giving away to both teams. So I don't know. I really think that the Ravens can still do a lot, but the Bengals have really changed my perspective about them. I originally came into the season like, at least this team was not really going to do too well. We keep on believing this hype that the Bengals are going to be amazing, and then they turn out not to be, at least by the postseason once they lose their first game. I'm gonna give this one to the Bengals just because, based off how the Bengals are playing, how they've been able to beat the Raiders and the Chargers. Even though we'll put it this way: the Bengals really beat the Raiders. The Ravens barely lost to the Raiders, and then now the Bengals and the Ravens are facing each other. Now you kind of see how the Bengals pretty much have the edge here. I think the Bengals are going to win it, but the Ravens, I think that they could win this game for sure. Alright, this is a joke. Look, I think the Jaguars definitely have grown. I think they're great and everything. Anyways, Jaguars are Patriots. I should announce that, but if it's not obvious already. But look, the Jaguars have grown, and they seem like they do still have a little bit of potential with Blake Bortles and Allen Robinson, and their offense has been doing pretty well. Their defense has gotten a little bit better, but I gotta give this one to the Patriots. How can you not in this matchup? The Patriots have shown that they're just like the 2007 Patriots, just so far. They've been just doing amazingly. You gotta. Let's face it. You look at the Patriots, and they are so far been very dominant. They beat up the Bills pretty badly. They beat up the Steelers even worse. And you see how the Steelers performed last week, and how good they were against the 49ers, and how the Patriots made the Steelers look like the 49ers this week. That sounds very confusing, but you know what I'm talking about. The Patriots are just the much better team. They're probably the best team in the NFL right now. They are the team to beat. They can repeat. That rhymed. But I'm gonna give this to the Patriots because they're too good right now, and it would shock me if the Jacksonville Jaguars could take down the New England Patriots. If that happened, first of all, I'd be kind of happy because I'm a Bills and Jets fan. So, of course, seeing the Patriots kind of crumble even though I love all the teams semi-equally, it does feel good when the Patriots lose. No, because they're so good. They're really good. But it's not going to be this week. They're going to go 3-0 to start out. Nowhere they lose to the Jaguars. No freaking way. So you got the Saints and the Panthers here. Drew Brees might not play this week. And immediately, when you hear those words, Panthers are a shoo-in. The Panthers are a shoo-in. They've been played so well this week, these past 2 weeks, even though they don't have Kelvin Benjamin, they don't have a solid wide receiving core. They have been playing amazing, and then you look over at the Saints, and they've just been playing very poorly. They lost to the Bucs last week, which I predicted correctly. I knew that was going to happen. And I gotta give this one to the Panthers. They are the much better team right now, especially if Drew Brees does not play. Luke McCown is not going to lead them at all to a win against the Panthers. Eagles at the Jets, which is a rematch of the preseason game that I actually was able to go to. Yeah, baby. I'm very excited about that. So you got the Eagles and the Jets, and this one seems obvious. I know that there's a lot of people that are still holding out hope for the Eagles, and I am too. I think the Eagles can still do well. The one thing that I would like to see the Eagles do is really just step it up, well, obviously on the offensive side, but if they could really have like some of their best defensive play this weekend, then they could beat the Jets. The Jets have been doing really well though offensively, and they've been doing astonishingly against in terms of defense, and it's just I mean, what can you say about the Jets? They've shocked us. After Geno Smith getting hit in Sucker Punch, you thought that was the end of the Jets season, and now they're 2-0, beating out the Browns, which is not really too big of a deal, but then they beat out the Colts, and that's a pretty big deal. I gotta give this one to the Jets, but I'm not gonna be surprised if the Eagles get their first win of the season. I think they can rebound. I think they will rebound. I just don't know yet if it's going to happen against the Jets, so I'm going to give this one to the Jets. Jets will go 3-0, and the Eagles will go 0-3. Buccaneers at the Texans. This is the one game that I think will go to the Texans. I know I just went right out and said it, but I think that the Texans have a good amount of defense to really challenge Jameis Winston, and I think that Ryan Mallett will grow into into his role as the starting quarterback, and the fact that they were so close last week against the Panthers, I gotta get this one to them. The Bucs have so much potential, but just right now, I think they're gonna lose it to the Texans. All right, Chargers and Vikings. This is going to be a good matchup. I'm very excited about this one. Vikings really showed how they could play and how good they can play last weekend. You look at the Chargers, and they are a great team as well. But I'm going to give this one to the stronger running back, and that is Mr. AP, Adrian Peterson. I got to give it to them. Just in general, the Vikings have shown how strong they've been and how strong they could be, starting all the way to the back, last few weeks of the 2014 season. Now with Adrian Peterson back, this team has grown so much stronger, and I think they can challenge the Chargers. Absolutely. I'm taking the Vikings, although I wouldn't be surprised if the Chargers won. Steelers at the Rams. This is an easy one. The Steelers have improved on defense quite a bit. They were really holding the 49ers back this past weekend, and they were doing really well. And you look at that offense, like, holy crap, the Steelers were just unstoppable last weekend. But the Rams are good defense, so I guess you gotta keep that in mind. But I'm going to give it to the Steelers. It's an obvious pick. I don't see the Rams beating them. If they do, that'd shock me. But the Steelers are the easy pick. Easy pick. They're going to win it. All right, the 49ers at the Cardinals. The Cardinals, man, their offense has been really on the upside. They've really done pretty well. Yes, they've only beaten the Bears, they've only beaten the Saints, but against the 49ers, I think that the Cardinals could do the same thing the Steelers did last week. I think they could just whip the 49ers all over the field, and I think they can win it. I think the Cardinals are going to win it, absolutely. The 49ers, everything that we thought the 49ers were going to be this season was kind of taken away from us in the first week, and then it was like completely given back in the second week. It was like, yeah, we were right. The 49ers are going to struggle. Then they struggled hard last week, and I think they'll struggle again. I think the Cardinals are going to take it. All right, one of my favorite divisional matchups, the Bills against the Dolphins. Look at the Bills last week, and even though they lost, they were able to really come back big time in the last quarter. The last quarter was 19 points they rallied for. And Tyrod Taylor, you gotta give him a lot of credit. Like, even though he was being tossed around the entire game, he was still playing very well, and I gotta give it to him. He's playing really well for someone who was doing their second start. I mean, again, I I guess last week I really should have picked the Patriots because, let's face it, they are the Bills. This is Tyrod Taylor's only. That would have been Tyrod Taylor's second start, and I gave him the win over Tom Brady, who is just elite in every way. There's no way I could have given it to him. I don't know why I gave it to Tyrod and the Bills. So I regret that choice, definitely. But you look at this matchup, the Dolphins have been struggling with their defense and stopping the run at times, and it's surprising because they got but I think he's going to learn the defense. I think he's going to do a little bit better this time. They got Ryan Tannehill, who has really improved in the offseason, has really gotten better. Their offense has gotten better. I'm giving this one to the Dolphins, hoping for a Bills win because I'm a Bills fan, but I think the Dolphins are going to take it, no doubt about it. I'm sorry, yes, doubt. But I'm going to give it to the Dolphins because I think that they're going to improve. They're going to take what they take from their Jaguars loss, and then they're going to get better. So now, the Bears against the Seahawks. This is the only 0-2 matchup for the week, and the Bears and the Seahawks, man, I would never expect that this would be equally 0-2. The one factor that I would have really matched these guys up with would be the quarterback battles, because Jay Cutler was playing so well in the Cardinals game before he got hurt, and Russell Wilson, he's starting to get back into the groove of the offense, but he's not doing too well. He's not throwing to Jimmy Graham, who was this huge offseason acquisition, and they're not even using him for throwing to. It's just, whatever's happening in Seattle is just freaking weird. But I think that they're going to rebound this week, especially with the Bears losing Jay Cutler for a few weeks. They're going to be playing with Jimmy Clausen. And we know, I before I found out about Jimmy Clausen's history, and I've seen him play before, I'm like, oh no, yeah, Jimmy Clausen, he's pretty good. And then I realized how terrible he has been in the past. So I'm giving this one to the Seahawks, easy one. Their team is much more together, but there's still that one person who's missing, and that is Cam Chancellor. Alright, Sunday Night Football stars the Denver Broncos and the Detroit Lions. Last week, man, that was one of the biggest surprises, but much in the good way. I was very happy to see Peyton Manning play the way he did in against Kansas City. That was really an awesome game. One of the best games this far this season. I would say the best. That was a fun game to watch. But if I had to, I'm trying to weigh this here. I thought I was going to have a lot of trouble picking this matchup. But you look at 2-0, 0-2, and then all of a sudden the news comes out that possibly, I don't know for sure, but there might be a chance that Matthew Stafford, another quarterback, might not be playing. So that immediately is just like, okay, yeah, the Broncos are going to win it. But even if Matthew Stafford plays, I'm going to just do a scenario if he does play, you still got that Broncos defense, and Matthew Stafford has been getting tossed around. Wait till he faces them. They have been really dominant, absolutely. And then Manning has gotten him better. He's gotten him more comfortable. Although I think he started really calling his own plays in the Kansas City game. At least that's what some people were saying. So if that's the case, well then I don't know if they're gonna keep with Gary Kubiak what he was doing, or if he's gonna let Manning do Manning. And I hope that's the case. Broncos are gonna take this one. Broncos easy. Broncos are gonna take that one. And they are a much better fit for this game as a primetime game. Manning always flourishes for the most part. I think Peyton Manning's gonna do well. And last but not least, ESPN Monday Night Football, the Super Bowl 1 and 2 rematch. Yes, the Super Bowl 1 and 2 was a Super Bowl 2 was a rematch of Super Bowl 1. Believe it or not, how close together they were. The Green Bay Packers host the Kansas City Chiefs, and both teams are great. the Chiefs have been struggling though, and you can't deny the greatness that is Aaron Rodgers, another great quarterback. It's so hard to pair Rodgers and Brady, and honestly say which one is better, in my opinion. Yes, Brady obviously has more titles, but that comes with not only having a good quarterback, but it comes with having just a good team in general. So, I don't know about that debate. Forget that debate. I just threw that out there. Aaron Rodgers is elite. He's one of the best quarterbacks of all time. Giving it to the Packers. They're going to win again against the Chiefs. The Chiefs' defense has gotten so good. So good. But I'm going to give it to the Packers because I think that they just have been playing so great. I sound like Jimmy Fallon now. So good. So good. So great. Green Bay Packers are going to play well against the Chiefs. And I don't know. I think it could be a tight, testing game, but it has to be the Packers. I'm sorry. I can't even give any good reasons right now. The Packers they're that good. I really wish the Packers and the Patriots were playing this year, because that would really that would be a greater game than their last year's regular season game was. This would be a great one. All right. So that takes us to the end of week 3, and at that point we'd have a really interesting understanding of where everyone is, how everyone is doing. By that point, if there's any team that's 0-3, there's going to be, I can't really say for sure if any of them would make the playoffs. I don't think they could, but crazier things have happened before, I guess, right? And it'll be interesting to see who goes 3-0. Obviously, either the Falcons or Cowboys will become 3-0, but who else? Who knows? Who knows who will also go 3-0? Because 2 out of the 3 of the 3-0 teams last year went on to the playoffs. The other team was the Eagles, and they ended up going 10-6, and so they still had a phenomenal season. So 3-0, that's a magic number, because you're in for some good things. That's at least how I see it. All right. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next week for week 4.